Hey everyone, it's PB Otaku. I hope you're all having a great new year so far and that you're keeping up with your resolutions. If not, that's fine too, we'll just keep moving forward. So a few days ago, I was doing my usual window shopping on various figure websites and I found this figure.
Fate Grand Order Arcade Caster / Merlin Prototype 1/7 scale figure. Looks like a nice figure. Cute, non-intrusive base, relatively simple, and appears to have an easy assembly process. What about the price? What? Without tax, that's 31,800 yen. Even with the discount and strong US dollar, it's still over $200 for a simple figure. What's with these prices?
Unfortunately, the figure manufacturers have been raising the prices on their products at a very noticeable rate for the past several years.
Look at this Purple Heart figure by Alter. She released mid-2022 for 18,800 yen. Compared to Prototype Merlin, that's a near 70% price increase in almost 2 years. Furthermore, this more dynamic Karna figure by Alter is planned to release only a month before Prototype Merlin, yet the latter costs 5,000 yen more. That's a 19% increase. These prices are crazy.
So with these huge jumps in price, is there a matching increase in quality? That's what I'm going to find out, and I'm going to do that by comparing a scale figure that released in 2012 to more recent releases.
I bought Alter's Milla Maxwell 1/7 scale figure. She retailed for 7,800 yen, and with the US dollar yen exchange rate at the time, she would have cost around $83. This was an A-grade figure that I found at Ami for $41. And here is their grading guide. So despite being pre-owned, this figure was never opened. It's effectively still brand new. Let's open up the figure now. As you can see, the box is pretty beat up and it's even falling apart, but that's expected for an 11-year-old figure. We'll throw all this junk aside and get to the contents. Alright, let's cut off all of this tape one by one and then remove the blister. Let's look at the base. It's simple, has a nice design, and isn't very wide. It has plastic pegs, but that was normal at the time. Here's Milla's weapon. It's a sword. Moving on. Here's the Milla Maxwell figure herself. She's looking good so far. Oh, and I can't forget the instructions. I'm gonna need those. Let's attach the sword to Milla. The first thing you need to do is remove the tip, and then just slide it through her hand. It was a really snug fit getting that sword to fit through. The process actually took me a few minutes. We'll reattach the tip of the sword, and finally, let's get our girl on the base. Just snap Milla on, and she's fully assembled. Nice, she's looking good. Shall we get a better view? Judging from this close-up, the quality of the figure looks great. I'd wager Milla looks better than some more recent scale figures from other companies. Milla's most standout feature is her hair. It's airbrushed very well and I really can't make out visible rough spots on the paint. As for the seam lines, they're covered decently. Also, I like the strand of hair that goes from blonde to green. It's a nice detail. However, there are a few misses on the quality. While her top and skirt are painted well, the straps for her outfit have a flat and slightly messy paint job. Since the straps are part of the main mold of the figure, I can see how painting them would be a little messier compared to if the straps were their own piece. This flat paint job unfortunately extends to her gloves. As you can see, there is no blending on the paint job. Each portion is a solid color, but at least it's fairly clean. If you look at the strap on her leg, the paint job is kinda messy. You could see the paint from the strap slightly bleeding onto her leg. As for Milla's boots, the same problems with the paint job exist here too. Solid colors with no blending. And when you get to the bottom of her boots, you can see it's a little rough here too. In particular, the area where the red laces cross each other. The same goes for the black and pink areas. Click, clack, bada bing, bada boom. All that said though, this is still a great figure and well worth the $41 I paid. Alter's Milla Maxwell has been one of my most wanted figures, so even if I bought this on release for $83, I still would have been happy. So how does she compare to Alter's more recent offerings? Well, to test that out, I'll be comparing Milla to Alter's Musashi Miyamoto Casual version 1/7 scale figure, and Alter's 1/7 scale figure of Scathach Soaring Heart of Piercing Bunny version, whatever that means. Anyways, let's try doing a side-by-side comparison of everything. Looking at the figures up close, it's apparent that all three have great paint jobs. The hair is painted well on everyone, and each of their faces look great. However, the obvious difference is the paint job on their outfits. Earlier, I said the paint job on Milla's outfit lacks detail, and you could see that on the straps and on her gloves. It's kinda flat and clearly rough. I don't see those same flaws on Musashi's and Scathach's outfits. Even when you look at their legs, there's a clear difference. Again, Milla's legs and boots look a bit dull in comparison to the others. Musashi's thigh highs might appear flat as well, but it actually has a nice and smooth looking matte finish. Even the paint job on her boots is well done. It's nicely blended. As for Scathach, her legs have tone and different shades that are noticeable even through her fishnets. You can clearly see her knees, but detail like that is not present on Milla. While Milla is a great figure, it's easy to spot the differences when compared to her successors. Milla's colors don't pop as much, the paint on Musashi's sweater has noticeable shading, and while Scathach's outfit only has solid purple, the metallic and glossy finishes prevent her from looking dull. Before I do a side-by-side price comparison, I should mention that Milla is a 1/8 scale figure, whereas the other two are 1/7 scale figures. It's a little unfair to compare the pricing for different sized products, but I did find a 1/7 scale figure by Alter that released around the same time as Milla Maxwell. There's Silvaria Bless figure that released on May 23rd, 2012. For now, I will use her price as a placeholder comparison. A 1/7 scale figure released in 2012 cost 8,800 yen. Musashi released on August 17th, 2021 at 13,800 yen, and Scathach released on May 9th, 2023 for 16,800 yen. By the way, you might have noticed that Scathach had a first release in 2020 and was priced at 13,800 yen. So where exactly did that 3,000 yen price increase come from?
Now this is just me speculating, but I think Alter still likely has the figure mold and the license to make figures of her. So I could only imagine they're raising prices just because. If anyone has deeper insight into this, let me know.
Anyways, let's look further into the prices. Here's their original retail price in yen, and here's the cost of the figures in USD at the time of release. Even with the US dollar being significantly stronger now, the constant price increases make today's figures more expensive. We'll let that soak for a bit. When adjusting for inflation, things change a bit. In US dollars, the original cost of the 2012 figure at the time of release would be more expensive than its successors at the time of their release. However, in regards to yen inflation, the 2012 figure is still cheaper. 8,800 yen in 2012 is roughly equivalent to 9,300 in 2021 and 9,900 yen in 2023. This doesn't seem so bad for US-based figure collectors, but damn, Japanese figure collectors are taking a hit. Compared to the 2012 figures, Musashi released almost 9 years later and was 5,000 yen more. Scathach re-released a further 2 years after and was 8,000 yen more. The increases are 57% and 91% respectively.
So, even with the difference in quality, do I feel it's worth the price increases? Personally, I don't think so. While the increase in quality is noticeable, I don't feel it's a one-to-one match with the price increases. I can understand maybe a 3,000 yen increase over several years, but 5,000, 8,000, and even 10,000 yen just seems crazy to me.
Going back to the start of the video, the retail price for Alter's Merlin prototype version is nearly double the price of Bunny Scathach. I understand there's more bits and detail on Merlin prototype, but I don't think that justifies a 2x price increase. There is just no way in hell her quality is going to be 2 times better. To really put this in perspective, this one figure would cost the same amount as 5 Milla Maxwell figures. That is just insane.
At this point, I feel like Alter are price gouging and they think people will pre-order their figures just because they're Alter. So what can we do? Well, one thing we could do is vote with our wallets by not pre-ordering figures. Quite a few scale figure enjoyers also feel this way. Here's a few comments from users on myfigurecollection.net regarding this figure.
Let's read this comment by Jesters. Gosh, she's one of my most anticipated because I love my Fate Protos, but that initial release price tag is oof. Like others, I'm probably waiting for release and sales because that's ridiculous. I'll read one more significant comment by Crew0N0. Everyone make a pact here to not pre-order this. By pre-ordering this, we are basically saying this price is justified. It is a ridiculous price, and why should we be punished for pre-ordering items we want just to see it tank after release? Crew0N0 is totally spot on. MSRP for figures has gone up so much that people refuse to pre-order, and all of these figures end up in the bargain bin. Let's go back to Ami Ami's listing for Bunny Scathach. She's already discounted, and since she still hasn't sold out, I can only see her price dropping further. This is becoming quite a trend. Take this Albedo figure by Furyu for example. Look at how high her original price was, and look at how much it tanks. Why pre-order when prices will likely drop? Aside from holding off from pre-orders, I feel another way to enjoy quality scale figures for a low price is to buy older ones from manufacturers known for their quality. Again, Milla Maxwell only cost me $41 when I bought her in Japan. Right now, I think she is a perfect blend of quality and affordability. Why settle for cheap price figures when you can buy something like her? To finish, I'll show off some pre-owned figures that are both really good quality and below $40. Even if the bargain bin prices for current scale figures are too much for you, there's a whole lot of older stuff out there just waiting to be purchased.
And that's pretty much it. Even when your situation isn't favorable, there are always great alternative options. In this case, the options are patience and the secondhand market. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. My Patreon is linked in the description if you'd like to provide further support. As always, contributing is never required, but any support you give me is greatly appreciated. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, spend less, save more.